go live, but we'll wait to start, is what I'm just trying to say.
Oh, right. Well,
Yeah.
Alan's usually a few minutes late, so
Yeah.
and Ryder wasn't sure.
So we're live right
Yeah,
now.
I think Ryder has church.
Yeah, he was pretty sure he might not make it.
Yeah, the crazy thing is they were on the same schedule, like for their different churches. And I guess the service time for Alan has changed. As far as I understood it, they were doing like 4 different services in person.
Gotcha.
So that they could maintain social distancing in all the services. Gotcha. And so they're rotating the times because, nobody wants to go at like whatever time of day. Like I went to a church once that sometimes the band would play for like an hour, and it's like, I'm hungry and it's like 2:30. What is happening? Yeah. And so it would be nice if you had a rotating schedule, but
gotta have priorities. Food.
Yes.
Yeah.
Food.
Well, Fatmatic's in the room, so that's cool. Yeah, people are showing up.
Hello.
Yay.
See, I never can see people. Oh,
Get
there
to
we
see
go.
me wiping my nose. Very exciting.
Yes, it's all good things. Now, before we get really started, while we're waiting for either Alan, well, Ryder probably is not going to show up, but Alan.
We're waiting for Alan. Yeah.
I did post it. I showed Mark the other day when we were doing our podcast for Tarkin. It's really cool, having patients that actually like you, which is so weird. But one of my patients, she's younger than the typical retina patient. They're Disney people, like her entire family. Oh, yeah. So she brought me back these from the cantina.
Yeah, we saw that. Oh, here's Alan.
Hi, Alan.
Right.
Hello.
Yay.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Yeah, so that was cool. And, it was funny because before she left, she's like, can I get you anything from Galaxy's Edge? It's like, what do you say to that? It's like, no, I'm fine. So for her to bring back coasters, that was pretty cool. And I've been told they're in very good shape. So for being out there, you know what I mean? She just snagged them and brought them to me. So it's pretty cool of her. It's nice because I haven't physically been there yet.
Yeah, well, I hope to get there sometime soon-ish.
Yes.
I have some news.
She has news.
Because that's a great segue. Because my husband is slated for a job in Disney World.
Shut the front door.
Wow.
So, and it's
I'm so jealous right now.
June, July, and August.
Can I come visit?
I'm going to Batu.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
One of those months. Yeah. So.
Awesome.
Oh, I can't
believe it. Yay. Awesome.
That's very exciting.
Exciting.
I can't believe he snagged that job, and he
thought of
believe
you.
it
See
either.
that?
Well, no, he didn't. He had no idea that that's where it was going to be.
That's awesome.
But he's putting in a jewelry store in the park, I guess.
Nice.
So
we get to stay.
Diamonds? Why not?
We get to stay in the park.
Awesome. That's cool. Good.
I can't believe it.
Keep us posted.
That's probably the one job site I'll be going to a lot.
Right? Well, why wouldn't you?
I know.
Just hang out with some blue milk. Why not?
3 months in Florida. Yay.
Yay. Awesome. Well, Alan, we're glad you could join us. We were just waiting for you to show up. Yeah. So thank you for gracing us with your presence. I've been loving the intros, by the way, on Idiot's Array. Your voice drops a few octaves lately, Alan.
We've been calling it the NPR voice.
Yeah. No. Well. Yeah. The sultry voice. It's actually been doing it a lot more lately too. It gets that way when I'm dealing with respiratory issues, if you will. Mainly allergies have been really bad to me over the last year, but especially over the last couple of months. I'm in bad shape, but it's okay.
I'm sorry. Well, it's because things are blooming. Things are really blooming now.
Yeah. So I may talk like this the entire time anyway. So just letting you know.
Oh my!
Wow, Mark, you got some competition here.
Yes. I mean, all I can do is the Palpatine voice for the Pitiful Little Band.
Well, and I love that, by the way. For those that are in our chat that didn't know that is Mark, by the way.
Yes, it is.
It's pretty cool.
Just add a little echo. It sounds more more cool that
Well,
way.
isn't that also you doing the whole little singing with Idiots Array's theme too?
Oh yeah.
That is
Yes, it
you.
is.
Yeah.
It's funny because I noticed when I listen to you guys on my walk, I pick up my speed a little bit during Mark's little jingle there.
Yeah,
Aw.
I put it out there like after I made that intro. Hey, if anybody wants an intro for their podcast, I'm
Right?
available. And nobody took me up on that. So I don't
I'll
know.
put it out there again. Well, you just said it now. So those that are listening, so those that are in the chat, thank you very much. As always, this is our little Pitiful Little Band Network, just -1 Riders at Church, which is probably more beneficial anyway. Prayer is good. But anyway, welcome to Behind the Podcast with the Pitiful Little Band. We are a collective group of positive Star Wars content creators with the hosts of Idiot's Array, Kanata's Castle, and of course, Tarkin's Top Shelf. And I'm just going to jump right in because we were just talking about octaves and voices. So we got a new little trailer that dropped for Bad Batch yesterday, and I texted you guys about Omega's voice went up a few octaves to me. And it's interesting because last night while I was sleeping, Steven Stanton posted about that trailer. And when he spoke of Omega, he used a pronoun. He used she.
Yeah.
A lot of people
So
are.
there it is,
so,
people.
yeah.
So what do we
And,
think
and
about
if
that?
anybody could possibly know, it would be him. But then that could also just be a guess. And it's possible that he knows the voice actor as well. Because, and I guess we don't have official confirmation. But if you have a young boy character in a cartoon, very likely that is a female voice actor.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's like extremely common.
Chucky in the Rugrats is, but
Oh,
was
that's
a woman.
right. That's right.
Yeah. Well,
That's right.
Bart Simpson, like all
Yes.
the
Simpson
Simpson
is a
children,
woman?
they're
That's
all women. Yeah,
That's right.
it's just because they're in the right register, for
Yeah.
a child that age, basically.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think it's very interesting.
I'm excited.
It is a dude festival currently.
I used a different term to Devin today privately about that, and I won't say it here because
I almost said the same one, but I changed it
it starts
to
with an S? Yeah.
dude festival.
We'll just go with that. Yes. So having a little, some girl in there would be great. I mean, I think honestly, we've seen it in the Clone Wars when you throw Ahsoka in with the clones, having that little woman's touch seems to help them out a bit. So I think they would need this. Not to mention Omega actually asks, how can I help? Which I love that. So anyone looking for anything specific when it comes to this? Because I mean, it's only in 2 days. So
Yeah.
we get to see it.
Other than we were talking before we went live about her headdress and how similar it is to Tanwi's. And so we're kind of thinking that I had heard on someone else's speculation that perhaps Tanwi had influence in causing this female clone to be created. There was something she was involved in with that. So I'd like that to be a connection. We'll see what happens.
So are you saying that they suggested that Omega being female was done on purpose? It wasn't.
Yeah,
interesting.
By Tanwi, that's the speculation that she may have had because of the stone she's wearing, her headdress.
Right. Okay.
Similar.
I didn't even think about this before. I'm just going to look at the facial features of Omega because very similar to like the young Boba Fett clones.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very
like that didn't even
Daniel Logan looking.
They
said a bad like it's the Bad Batch. It's clones that weren't a perfect copy of Jango Fett.
Correct.
Right.
So why not? I mean, we've all seen Jurassic Park.
Yes.
The only thing that separates the dinosaurs from the girl dinosaurs is a
It's
hormone
frog DNA.
well,
I'm sorry.
no, a specific hormone given at a certain time in the incubation
It's
process.
a frog DNA that can go back and forth depending on
and simply deny them that, and
life finds a way.
There it is.
Welcome to the Jurassic Park show, everyone.
You all have me at a disadvantage because I have not seen the latest trailer, nor have I caught up on everything you're talking about. But trust me, keep talking because I'm enjoying this as if I was a listener or watcher of this particular show. So, but I am looking forward. I have no expectations of Bad Batch other than I'm excited because it's more Dave Filoni, because it's more of the stories we love, because it's more Star Wars. So my son and I finished Mandalorian. We just finished The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We now have something else on Disney Plus to watch, and I am perfectly okay with that.
Make sure you stop and watch the behind the scenes with The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Very good stuff.
It's on my list.
From all the actors. Yeah, I had some tears watching that and listening to some of them talk because they didn't know when they started filming this what impact it would really have on top of what's going on in today's world. So it's really heartfelt. Devin's got to go let the dog out.
Now we know who's let the dogs out. It was Devin.
That's important.
And by the way, Ryder did text us all and say, good luck, everyone. So, hey, Ryder is here in Force spirit, if you will. Force Ghost.
Well, this used to be him back in your guys' old logo. So there he is.
Oh, right.
Yep.
There's Ryder.
He was. Yep. I miss that old logo. Even if I do like the one that Mark has now created, I still miss the old one.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, it was good. That was when my avatar, my profile picture on Twitter was like a Bosk. And I just finally decided I'm going to be myself. This way people will know who I am. When Star Wars Celebration was coming up, I changed to my face and some people recognized me. But yeah, talking about, animation in Star Wars, I stumbled across a video on YouTube. Well, not stumbled across. I subscribed to Corridor Digital. They're the ones that do the react to great and bad CGI. They had one go viral last year that was about Star Wars and how it was actually really well done, the prequels. But they also do reactions with animators about animation, and they do reactions with stunt guys. Okay. And they covered Falcon and Winter Soldier. A couple of the guys that have worked on Marvel Universe, and one of the guys that actually has been doubling for Anthony Mackie as Falcon. Cool. Yeah, and that's the most recent Corridor Digital release. And then also when I was there, they have experts react, like it's a video series that experts react to movie scenes or TV scenes in their field. And there's a really interesting one that that covered Star Wars Rebels, the final fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Maul. Mm-hmm. And he rated it a 10 out of 10.
I saw that.
And his reasoning was that I love that he was familiar enough with the Star Wars universe that he's able to see, okay, here's Obi-Wan. He's in his usual stance. Mm-hmm. And then he switches over here. He's now Qui-Gon. He's learned from his master.
Yep.
And then what does Darth Maul do? He goes to attack him the same way that he took down Qui-Gon Jinn. Mm-hmm. And Obi-Wan goes, boom, done.
Right. I don't think so.
Because he learned from his master's failure. And this weapons master guy, he's like, hey, most of the fight, if you're fighting to the death, is going to be mental. And it's going to be short. And if a mistake's going to be made, it's going to be fatal and instant. And so
interesting.
So, and I've actually watched a few with this guy that he rated the Mandalorian Beskar spear fight with the Darksaber as a 6 out of 10 because
really
that's interesting.
Because if you have a spear, your goal with the spear is just going to be able to keep distance. And because his armor cannot be pierced by the Darksaber, he wasn't really that careful with distance. Mm-hmm. So he was rating his technique as unskilled, basically.
Okay. Okay.
And actually, if you think about it, he's not really used to fighting with this
No.
weapon. He's never used it before.
That's the first time he picked it up. Right.
So a 6 out of 10 for a novice is pretty good. But yeah, I did love that Star Wars Rebels got an endorsement from somebody who knows what they're talking about, because so many people complained about that moment. You know, like, well, that was just so disappointing.
But I think that's what they were going for, though, too. I think the guy that person nailed it, because that's exactly, it makes sense that at that time. And then, too, it also correlates beautifully when you see Vader and Obi-Wan for the last time in A New Hope. Both of them have learned. They're not going to go at each other full board like they did back in the day, back in Mustafar. Right. They've grown, they've matured. It doesn't have to be that way. No one really has to break a sweat, so to speak.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and you go back to old samurai movies. Like Kurosawa, he directed like Seven Samurai, Yojimbo. And, a lot of the most effective characters in those films, they just chop off arms and kill people in like 3 seconds. It's not this long, drawn out thing. It's, a couple of masterful strokes and it's over.
Right.
But the build-up, it's like the Mexican standoff in The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Like all those Sergio Leone westerns,
right?
Fistful of Dollars. He was just stealing Japanese samurai film plots and putting them in the Wild West. Right. And so most of the fight is in the stare down, sizing up your opponents, and then striking quickly. And that's why The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly works so well, because it's like 3 minutes of 3 people staring at each other. And then boom, it's over.
Whenever you have scenes of people looking at each other like that, I'm going to try and see if I can do this right. I'm thinking of the.
Of course.
Yeah, sets the stage. But speaking, sorry, Mark, go ahead.
And then one more thing about animation. I hope that we get to see Cad Bane sometime.
Yes,
again,
please.
Somebody mentioned that they would love to see him in the Book of Boba Fett, and it's like, yes, I would love to get some resolution for that storyline that we never saw in the Clone Wars. It was planned, and also that connects to Good, Bad, and the Ugly, because Cad Bane's character was based off of Angel Eyes, Lee Van Cleef's evil character.
There it is.
Yeah. And so I've talked enough.
Well, I want to touch back because you said losing limbs. So there's the discourse about the Hand. Who's read Darth Vader 11?
I haven't yet.
Okay, but you've seen the discourse? Have you guys seen it?
Yeah.
We can't. I don't want to spoil it for him.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it either. I was hoping we could have.
I've seen it. I've been spoiled. I've been spoiled.
You don't have to worry about spoiling me because I'm so far behind of comics. It's ridiculous.
Yes, I know about the hand in the jar.
All right. What are you guys? Any thoughts? Do you want to add anything?
Now we have a jar.
Luke is back. Luke. Sorry, I find fun in everything. Yeah, because you have to.
There is another Skywalker with his name. No,
sorry, how about it? I'm all good with it.
Is it really any different? Is it really any different than the M count and harvesting blood from Grogu?
No.
They're looking for viable, force-sensitive tissue to clone the Emperor. So the question is the Emperor also a Skywalker?
Well, no, I think this
the
is something
plot
Devin
thickens.
Right. This is something Devin and I said off air, was that I think the issue that a big portion of the fandom is having is that if Palpatine was messing around with Skywalker DNA and dabbling with that into cloning, is that blood now mixed with Palpatine blood, and does that make Rey some sort of relative in a distant way?
My
and I
head
think
hurts.
that's an issue for a lot of people.
No, my head hurts. Why do we have to go there? Why?
Right,
no,
but
my
I
head
think
hurts.
that's the issue. I think that's the main issue.
Well, it's like, okay, so everybody
We're
knows
all
that listens.
related at some point, so I don't think
Everybody knows that listens
Look
to
at the
Idiots
English
Array.
family, right? Like the royalty. Sorry.
Everybody knows that listens to Idiots Array that Mark and Ryder and myself, we like to deep dive. But there's a certain point where it's just like, nope, not going there.
You've jumped off the cliff.
Because there's a certain point where, you're jumping off the cliff, and where bring me the headache medicine because it just hurts too much. I'm not going there any more than I have to. So let's just stop Let's just draw the line right there. I don't want to hurt anymore.
Man, you're breaking my heart. You've gone to a place that I can't find.
See, and I want to tell you, joking aside, I want to share with you why I do like it. Okay, and for me, I'm all about connective tissue. No pun intended. Sorry.
Well, it
I
happened
do
though.
this seriously. Sorry, but I do love when things connect. In The Mandalorian season 2, Dr. Pershing, when they pull up that hologram, he does say that he doubts they'll find another host with a strong M count.
Yeah.
Luke's hand. You're never going to get one stronger than Luke Skywalker. It ties.
Can I give you a hand with that?
That's what we got. We got the hand with that.
And can somebody get me a tissue because I'm crying so much from laughing? So,
well, okay. So the question really comes down to, why did the Emperor keep Luke's hand for cloning? It was handy.
Oh my God!
You're killing me.
Mark, I was trying to drink water there. Can you not do that? Please?
All right, I'll cut it out.
But I'm telling it's continuity, literally. And I just thought, like, for me, that's where dude,
I love
you're
it.
killing me with this.
Where's my Luke? Oh, he's up there. Okay.
This is why we don't get together very often, because it's just going to be a whole reel of laughter. That's all it's going to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
I'll stop biting the hand that feeds me.
But no, seriously, that's...
Oh no! I need to get you in a room with my father, Mark. You guys can have a fun off.
Oh man!
I'll take that tissue now.
I don't.
Here, I got some for you.
I love it.
Oh, help us.
Mark's offering handouts.
Oh, Becca's in there now.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
But anyway, no. But that's for me. That's why I liked it, because really the first thing I thought of before I even read the comic, because I was spoiled with that too as well, was I thought of Dr. Pershing.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, perfect, bingo. It goes with that line. It all goes together, and I'm loving the fact that they're doing this. The whole story group, they're being able to align everything across all mediums, and that's how I look at it. And I think it shows that they're paying attention and they're making sure there are no hiccups. I mean, just even there's an image of the walkthrough that Darth Vader does through Exegol, and it's literally frame for frame the exact way Kylo Ren walks in, like he's just ready to take it all down. It's the imagery is beautiful. So I think they're really trying to connect those dots. I'm trying to use other words.
I think, though, that
if
we could use Jurassic Park as an example, because that's where most people probably started to learn about DNA and genetic sequencing and stuff.
Sure.
And, filling gaps in with the code. Like, obviously, whatever they have for Palpatine is incomplete. And so they need to fill in the gaps. And, that's kind of how hybridization works. And, genetic engineering, you want to make your, mouse glow, you introduce some DNA from a creature that is bioluminescent. Like, it's weird, but it's science. And if you had access to some Skywalker DNA and you're having trouble with what you've got, then you're going to use it. And it doesn't even necessarily mean that it's going to be a relative. I think, if you look at the entire human race, we have more in common genetically than like some flocks of birds that have been isolated together for millennia. You know what I mean? Like there's not going to be so much genetic material from Luke that it makes it a Skywalker.
Right.
I think people just they take things too far and too seriously.
Exactly.
And
it's fiction.
The comics have been skating this line of ridiculousness ever since Star Wars #1.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you could read the comics after Star Wars #1, nothing is going to be ridiculous after that, because they had Vader and Luke face off in the very first issue of the new Star Wars comics for Marvel. And And again, I will bring up the fact that no twist or reveal in Star Wars will ever be as ridiculous or as stupid as Luke and Leia being siblings. And I still love that. So,
right.
I'm ride or die no matter what they throw at us. Unless Captain Picard somehow shows up. I would have a problem with that.
Engage. Okay.
No, but and here's the thing: when it comes to the looking for a donor with a higher M count, and you think of it, it makes sense because if Palpatine could have, he would have definitely taken Anakin's limbs had they not been burnt to a crisp, and he would be using those. So the next best thing for him to use is Anakin's son, Luke's hand.
Yeah,
am I wrong?
And he's got probably has blood samples or whatever from.
Oh, I'm sure from Anakin.
I'm sure
absolutely.
Whatever he can get.
I guarantee he's got youngling limbs in jars all throughout that place.
No, don't go there.
No, I know that's terrible, but think about it. The Imperial Palace is built over the Jedi Temple.
Right.
And they're doing some cleanup in there.
And he got a hold of Grogu.
Hey boss, what do we do with all these dead Jedi? Let's put them in jars.
Send me their limbs.
Right.
Well, okay. Only the ones that didn't disappear in the Force. So
this is true.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's more of that.
And I'm sure there's a few. I'm sure there's a few Jedi bodies that jumped up then and said, "I'm not dead yet."
Bring out your dead.
Oh my God!
How come Luke has his hand when he's a Force ghost?
He has it gloved though.
He should not have a hand because it didn't make it with him.
Well, then Anakin should be limbless and just be
right.
Well, there's a precedent for this in the comics.
We haven't seen Anakin as a Force ghost yet.
Yes, we have.
Yeah. No, we haven't.
At the end of Return of the Jedi, yes, we have. He's fully robed and
yeah. He has all his
slight oversight on her part. It's okay.
Slight.
You're right. Sorry. Take away my fan card.
But
Sorry.
Of course, that's from Luke's point of view. That's how he sees his dad.
I'm thinking back to when I first saw it, and it wasn't Anakin, young Anakin. Okay?
No, it was definitely not. Well, I want to.
Fat Maddox says pickled Jedi. That's
pickled Jedi.
That's right.
Yes, I will have a selection of that one, and that one. I like that one so much.
I do like dill, but anyway,
What's the Jedi name?
All right, we have to move past this. So
this has come off the rails since
it's out of hand.
Right. I want to share something.
He said it's out of hand. We're getting out of hand.
Here we go.
Han. Oh, right. You know what? Lando wasn't trying to say Han. He was trying to say they took Luke's hand. They took Luke's hand. It was a warning.
Let's put one foot in front of the other and move on.
Yes, and in Lando's voice, which I cannot do, you're adorable. I want to share with you guys, we'll go a little serious here. I bought a ticket for April 29th. I was able to view the live screening of Del Rey's Tom with Timothy Zahn and watch the whole virtual book launch for Thrawn Ascendancy. And they dropped some Easter eggs, which only if you were part of that virtual launch were you able to see and able to listen to. And they basically talked about Lesser Evil, which is the last installment of the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy. And they let us know that Lesser Evil, the final book, will be at least 120 pages longer than the first two books. So that was tip number one. So prepare yourself for an extra long read. And that was for the purpose that Timothy Zahn promised that everything he has lined up to this point will have a conclusion. So just so you're all aware of that.
Is that the final book then?
Yes, that's the final book. It'll be Thrawn Ascendancy, Lesser Evil. That comes out in November. Tom from Del Rey read us the first three sentences of Lesser Evil. I don't remember them all because I couldn't write them down fast enough, but I could tell you this, it opens up to battle. So, and it's Thrawn talking about what they need to do to get into battle. So he's setting up his strategy. We're also going to learn, this is something I want to hear from you guys, especially Mark. We're going to learn what the third section of the Chiss name means in Lesser Evil.
Nice.
Thoughts? Because we don't know that yet.
Well, I know
there's 3 sections, so that third part.
It's related to their position in the family.
Okay.
Because it's in, like, that's listed in there. Like, you know, you have the Bloodborne, the Trialborn, all that. But it's not really clear what that means as far as their standing within their families. So that should be interesting to get more detail on that. And I've loved how he's built out this new civilization, and made a corner of the galaxy basically from whole cloth. There's almost nothing to do with anything we learned before, and just hearing new details like that is exciting for me. So I'm all in.
Anything else on that one?
I immediately looked at the cover, and his uniform is very different.
Beautiful.
All those like charms or something. I want to know
they're like
what all
little
that
medals.
means. Yeah, I want to know what all that means. Yeah.
I wonder if they'll get into that, but he definitely looks dashing, that I'll say. They also went on to say that, you know, right now we know that there are 9 ruling Chiss families. There will be another one added by the time we reach the end of Lesser Evil. Who knows who that'll be? And then he did go on, because there were some questions that they wouldn't answer that were relating to the Skywalkers. I was one of them, because I had a question about Cherie, and they basically said that he couldn't say anything because we'll learn more mythology surrounding the complexity of the Skywalkers in the conclusion of the Thrawn trilogy. So there's something to learn there. There's something, which we've noted that, Mark. There's too much secrecy, even in their own species. They don't talk about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a reason for that. So that's all going to be coming out. So any thoughts, any comments on any of those?
Well,
I took the fun out of everything.
I'm here for it. I mean,
I'm ready.
This whole, like, anytime there's new force powers or force users thrown into the Star Wars universe, you know, whether it be the Lasat species in Star Wars Rebels, or the Night Sisters, and now we've got the Magus and her people, which are they named? I don't think they were they're not forthcoming with their details.
No,
the world name.
They have some sort of feathery wrinkle on their forehead.
Yeah, but
that's all we know.
We don't really know much about them. But anytime you come across a new force user that's using it in a different way, that's the stuff that I love. That's why the High Republic is working so well, because we're seeing such a broad range of Jedi powers that, you know, they've become really homogenized by the time of the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
And it just further it further drives the point home that the Jedi were on their decline already by the time the Phantom Menace comes around, and they kind of set their own trap there, just by limiting themselves.
Just to piggyback off you mentioned some of these others, like, and I apologize, I'm behind on the books, like all of them, and I feel bad because Thrawn's been one of my favorite series, and I'm way behind there. But the book I just finished was Claudia Gray's Into the Dark.
Yeah.
And you're talking about other Force users, like the whole, and I wish I could remember how to pronounce the name, but the dark species in that book. Yeah, the Drangir. Like, that's not even necessarily spoken of as dark Force users, just the darkness that they pose, the eminent darkness that they bring. It's like you're learning there's so much beyond the Jedi and the Sith in the galaxy, both dark and light, that isn't just right there in front of you, that this is an epic battle between the Sith and the Jedi, because there's more out there beyond them that just isn't them. And it's like, holy crap. I mean, the stories are endless, and the Chiss is just another example of how Star Wars can really go way beyond the bounds of the galaxy. You know, you could bring in all sorts of things from the outer, the unknown regions and stuff. It's a reminder that galaxies are a very small part of a bigger universe. Even our own is a very smaller part of a bigger universe. There's so much you could tell, and I don't know that Star Wars will ever be able to tell it all, but it just means that there's an endless wealth of stories, untold stories, and knowledge that you can go with, and I think it's awesome. It's way cool.
Well, and the fact that like the ability to map and find hyperspace routes, that seems to be a very singular Force ability that only one character is known to have at the time of the High Republic. So, yeah, just it's madness.
It's madness. I want to go. We're going to have some fun again because Devin has been wanting to do this for some time now, and I know it's brought on by a conversation we had a while back through Kanata's Castle, and it was so silly that we actually had to stop us and turn it into a blooper reel. Devin really wants to talk about not just pants, but the clothes of Star Wars. Strange wardrobe choices. Best dressed, awkward. Depending on the situation or scenario. You can't say least dressed because Chewie wins by default because the Wookiee has no pants. So
this better not be a siblings of the traveling pants or something like that. I mean, come on, guys.
No. And if you pull up the notes, I actually have a bunch of little bullet points there to look at and to go off of. So this all stems from the fact that Devin and I had just such I'm sorry. Go ahead, Devin. Bring it up. Go with Kylo Ren.
I think we lost Alan.
No, I'm here. I'm just bringing up the notes. You just don't get to see my face. I'm speaking through the Force with you all right now, so it's okay.
I know I was doing that too.
I'm bringing up the notes because I hadn't really looked closely at them, so I'm bringing them up as we speak.
We have a whole segment on Kylo Ren's pants, and we are laughing hysterically. And there's nothing wrong with Adam Driver. He is a very beautiful species of a man. He's just a specimen. He's a beautiful man. I'm going to go there. But the pants, like missing that whole navel, it's awkward. I know that's First Order issue. I know that, but I don't like it.
A part of the First Order Naval Academy.
I get that. That's great. There it is. Jedi Zog. I love it. But no, so this is where this comes from because we just thought that was just hilarious because if you go to Anakin, Grandpa, before he's Grandpa, in his Jedi pajama pants, okay, that's attractive. If you see the comic that we saw of Han Solo chopping wood and Leia's just like staring and he's shirtless and he's in his flight pants, I'm sorry, that looks good. Why is he in those pants?
I feel like I have entered the world of the Star Wars runway. That's not fair, people. It's not. Because now I'm starting to think through wardrobe options, and I can't. I mean, we all know who the smoothest and best wearer was in all of Star Wars, and it is none other than Lando. Period.
Yeah.
There is
no. You just see Lando taking off his cape, saying, "I'm too sexy for that."
I got another cape here if you'd like. I can just imagine, Tim Gunn, make it work.
I'm sorry. I'm turning red literally as we're talking. This is hilarious.
Yeah, but then you think about Edna Mode, no capes.
Right.
And that makes me think of Jedi robes.
Well, they disrobe when they're really going to get it down.
Because, man, those things are death traps if you're trying to fight.
Why do the Jedi disrobe when they fight?
Dude, we're not going there. They can only disrobe if they have hands.
But okay. I'm going. Ewan McGregor. That's an epic fail that they don't have an outtake where he just drops his robe and reveals what much more than the clothes underneath and then the guy that's going to fight him is just like.
There is a
you win.
Mark, can I have those tissues now? Thank you. No,
a whole box.
Wow. Oh, but no, seriously though. Going from, if you're really serious about the taking off the Jedi robe before they really get serious. We see it in Revenge of the Sith before Anakin, fights Dooku. He takes off the robe. And then obviously so does Obi-Wan. And before Obi-Wan takes on the freshly dubbed Darth Vader, he takes off his as well.
Yeah.
When he comes down the what do you call it?
What?
The ramp. So they do that. They do take those off because
but they also go through a lot of robes because
they
take them off, and obviously then
do they go back for them?
To go back for them.
Hold up though. There is one Jedi who never derobes before he has a duel. I was just thinking through this. Why does he never take his robe off before he fights?
Who is it?
Yoda.
Oh, little
He
Yoda.
did not take off his robe when he fought Dooku, nor did he take off his robe when he fought Palpatine. So why is it that
he's very careful?
He did lose
He's
it in
what?
that fight.
Yes, he did. He did lose it in the Palpatine fight. But why is it that he doesn't remove it before battle, but everyone else does?
I would say very practical reason.
I don't know.
The animators would have way too much work to do.
That's true. That's true.
No, just think about they were trying
CGI,
to,
sure.
Yeah, but just think about you're trying to translate the movements of a puppet into a CG model, and part of what makes it work is the fact that you have the robe. You take off the robe, what do his arms look like?
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem. Like
but
what
Yoda's
do those arms
robe
look like?
didn't have a hood.
His arms look
so
like
it was more like a sweater.
They look like
yeah.
Sorry.
He's old. He just wants to stay warm, like he's got poor circulation. You would too.
He's old.
I broke this one knuckle when I was in like 6th grade, and now it gets cold. Just this one finger gets cold.
I would be curious though. We've talked a little bit about fighting technique for a moment. I wonder if the removal of the robe is not something that is unique to Star Wars, but it is part of a larger fighting scene technique or whatever it is, that when you have hand-to-hand or weapon-to-weapon combat between individuals, that there is a remove your robe or whatever part before it happens.
I wonder.
So it's not just in Star Wars.
I just thought of it. Yes, and you said it right there, Dev. In the Mandalorian episode with Ahsoka, she is wearing her little poncho thing. She does disrobe that before she fights the magistrate.
Yeah.
But I just wonder. I would be curious to hear. I would just be curious to hear a fighter's point of view on this, because I wonder if it's not just to Star Wars only, but it takes place over an entire genre of fighting, if you will, outside of Star Wars.
So more on the Asian side of things is what you're saying.
There are some fighters in
martial arts.
I want to say Yojimbo, that there are some fighters that they have like a sleeved robe, but they don't put their arms through the robe. And then when they fight, their arms come out and it just kind of falls off to the side.
Okay.
I'll have to look this up, and I'm hoping that our friend Dave Hackerson listens or hears this and can come back with some insight and thoughts from the Japanese and Asian world on this, because I would really be curious to know if this is something that has happened it way back into the history of fighting and whatnot.
Even in like boxing culture, right?
Boxers come out on the robe.
He has a robe on. It comes off before he fights.
Yep.
Right.
So
interesting.
Anyway, it's something. I mean, we got off topic of the traveling pants and then the clothing and everything else we were talking about. We went with the less uncomfortable. But I started thinking through clothing of characters over the years. You guys talk about that. One of my least favorite outfits that Luke ever wore also happened to be at times one of my favorite was what he wore in Return of the Jedi. That whole dark outfit he wore. In the wrong,
my favorite one.
I like it in certain instances, but when the light was shed on it just right, it looked like this. I don't even know what it was. If it depended on the lighting that it was under, because sometimes when it was under certain light, it just looked like somebody, like my grandma, put together a bunch of felt and threw it on me. Like that's what I felt like seeing when I saw it. But then there's at other times I'm like, I like that. And Ryder's not here to take offense to all of this because it's his favorite,
Ryder.
favorite. But I just, that particular outfit never really struck a chord with me very much.
Isn't that something?
That is.
So
everyone's
different. See, I liked it.
Yeah, I think it works very well.
I didn't say it worked. Didn't work, but it did. Yeah, I mean, it just wasn't particularly
For you.
my favorite. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dev.
Well, I was going to say, think about a time where a costume took you out of the story or the movie.
Yep.
And I have written down mine, which was when Luke on Octu removes his hood. You can clearly see that the robe is pinned to his tunic.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, well, the movie magic is gone now because they had to pin his robe. That it takes me out every time. I don't want those pins there. I want them not to be there.
Right.
Okay. I never noticed that.
Yeah, they need to
You
take them
didn't?
out in the special edition in 20 years.
Wow.
Next
Yeah,
time,
right.
look at it. Look, they're it's pinned there so that it doesn't fall off his shoulders. It probably, in practice, fell off his shoulders every time he took his hood off. So they pinned it. It bugs me every time.
One more I'm not particularly fond of. It begins one of my favorite scenes in all of the movies, but it's Palpatine's costume when the Jedi come to arrest him. I don't like it. The poofy shoulders, like the poofy shoulders, and then he fights. I could have done without that because that scene was already going to be awesome, and then I saw that and went, "What are you wearing, Palpatine? Why?" And then the battle
like
starts.
One of the best dressed, though. I've seen all those costumes at that museum exhibit. There's a lot of work that went into Palpatine's outfits.
I have no doubt of that.
Padme's outfits.
Yeah. See, and that's funny because I find Palpatine's outfits very Shakespearean, very staged.
Oh yeah.
Very on stage, very theatrical. And I think it fits the character. The only outfit that I could think of, because I'm thinking while we're talking, that takes me out of the moment for a moment, and I'm surprised that no one else mentioned it, but it's all right. Padme's nightgown in Revenge of the Sith. No one sleeps with beads.
I know.
Hanging off their arms.
Can't be comfortable. I think of that all the time.
And her hair is all done up with a clip. I'm like, no.
Here I am talking about the wardrobes I don't like. Meanwhile, Becca's like right down to the beads, this and that. I'm going.
Yeah, no, the beads is a good example.
I didn't even notice it though. I never did. Like
she's got these draping beads, and she's pregnant, no less. I mean, really, you'd be wearing Anakin's old tunic because you need comfort.
I just never noticed it.
Rolling around in.
Maybe I didn't get that detail.
Star Wars.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, she's got to look gorgeous all the time.
Why did she lose her sleeve to the next suit?
Because she lost her sleeve and her midriff.
Why? Why the sleeve?
Because the next suit didn't like it.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You went all the way. Wait, hang on. I'm going to slash your back, but then I'm going to carefully.
Because she looked good, and she was now old enough.
Circle. Okay, no cut. There it goes.
If I'm not mistaken, it's true. It's because she was old enough and George could show her in a sexual manner. George is known for this. He did it with Leia, with Carrie. He did it with Natalie when she was of age.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess the only costumes that really take me out of it in all of Star Wars, most of them are right in the Jabba's palace dance scene.
Yes.
Pretty much everybody especially in the special edition now.
That's gonna say you're talking that one more so than the.
But the characters that were in it previously, also it was like, what were they doing with this outfit?
Ula's is dangerous. I mean, that's like she's barely covered. I mean, people raise eyebrows at the Ula, the green Twi'lek. She's barely covered. I mean, it's mesh. It's mesh material. I'm surprised we didn't get any peekaboo at all. Like, there's like, I mean, because that to me, I would not want to wear that at all. I would choose Leia's slave outfit versus that, personally. You're covered more.
Pretty much all the
blows my mind
wardrobe decisions are that scene for me.
And what blows my mind is in the case of her, is that when he did the special editions, they brought her back to film it too, which was pretty cool. Like 20 years later, and there she is filming the same scene again, wearing it. Like, man, that's pretty impressive. So
it is.
But
Mark, you're right. There was some
like a professional.
What?
Wasn't she a professional dancer?
I think so.
So she'd been, of course you're going to keep in shape the whole time if that's your profession.
Right.
But I'm with you, Mark. That whole scene, there was a lot of not so well dressed folks in that scene. Not at all.
Some uncomfortableness with that. Like when you sit back and watch it now, you're like, okay, I was how old when I saw this, and I didn't think anything was wrong with it. Like, wow. Saying,
and including poor Leia and the bikini.
Yeah, no, Carrie hated that. We'll be honest.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
She was not a fan of that. Well, it didn't stay put. I mean, all the action scenes that he had her do, like sitting there is one thing, but the action sequence that she had to do, the top was popping off. I mean, that's not
to be
cool.
Embarrassing. How could you?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean,
how awkward
no
would
thanks.
that be? Yeah.
Let's just be thankful that there's no more merchandise being made based off of that.
Well, because there's better outfits for Leia than that. That's just
the jersey has been retired.
Princess Leia in that suit is more valuable now than anything else.
Are we going to slide right over the fact that Mark just made a sports reference? Mark, are you doing okay today? I need to check in with you. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I just need to channel Ryder for a moment since he's not here and talk about Downton Abbey and how brilliant it is.
Oh, don't even go with that one.
Oh, you just brought up the
flossing.
You just brought up the name that shall not be mentioned. Why would you do that? Not Ryder. No, Ryder, we're okay, but the other name.
All right.
Well, we did kind of mention my best dressed choices were Luke, Padme, Lando, Kira, and Palpatine, and we kind of mentioned some of those already. I'm sorry, I'm always going to say Luke first. Even if he's in a gray tunic.
Black is very slimming. It's very flattering.
But I'm curious there. There's a lot of symbolism in the outfits they wear.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
Now, the symbolism in Luke's Return of the Jedi outfit is when the little
flap.
paplum is turned down. Flap is turned down, and it's gray.
Yes. Right.
So he was making a choice. There was some choices he had to make, and I was really worried about how that movie was going to end because he was wearing black, and so that whole final scene is when he almost loses it, and he doesn't. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I like the symbolism that they use within costumes. I think it's blatant, especially like even in episode 2 when you get Anakin and Padme going off to rescue Obi-Wan, even though Anakin for the first time wants to follow mandate and go back to Coruscant. And she's like, no, we're going to save Obi-Wan. We're only this far away and blah, blah, blah. But she's all in white and he's in his very dark brown mixed with black tabard. Again, you've got the light with the dark and trying to find their medium. And it's, yep, it's very much there. You get it with The Rise of Skywalker. Rey is all draped in white and you've got Kylo all in black. I mean, but here's the thing, even when he's in black, which to me mirrors exactly the fact that, well, so was Uncle Luke, so was Grandpa. They always chose dark colors. Once they matured and had their own identity, they did darker colors.
But did you notice in his most, I guess, and I'd have to go back and pick them out, but there's a few vulnerable scenes in him where, back to what Devin said a minute ago about choice, where he's wearing a white and a black, where there's a white top and a black or white, isn't there a couple of scenes like that where it shows kind of the balance between the two, the dark and the light? Wasn't there a scene where he's wearing a white tunic
Anakin?
and black pants? No, with Ben. Wasn't there a scene when he was wearing a white tunic or black pants? Or am I just totally missing
It's in comics when he's
in
younger.
Comics? Okay.
Yeah, it's in the comic
book. Maybe I'm referring to the white when he was shirtless. I don't know. We don't even need to go there anyway. But no, I just... But I was reaching for something here because of all the Skywalkers.
Like
I thought of all the Skywalkers, he is the one that had the biggest draw from the light and the dark within him. So he had to find the most balance of all of them. So I almost thought it would have been most important that you reflect that in the clothing that he wore as well, not just the dark but the light, because I felt like he was a little of both.
Yeah, well, I do think I should mention though that even though his sweater was black, I think it was symbolic of his light side. Because it was holy.
Yes, Ah. I see what you did.
I was like, where is he going with that? I was waiting for that one.
Because he got stabbed.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have gone from limbs to badly dressed and we're dropping right into the holy side of things here.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. So we are here to celebrate Star Wars Day, which is in 2 days.
Yes.
May the 4th is coming up. Are there any announcements we're hoping for out of Lucasfilm and Disney? Because they're going to drop something. They're going to drop some sort of.
I didn't even think of it. That's just it.
I didn't.
I mean, is there anything you guys are hoping for, or something? A book, an animated series? You can't say Luke and Ben. You guys are waiting.
They could release like a teaser or more of a teaser trailer for Cassian Andor, that show.
Oh yes,
we might see something for that.
That's what I would think. I know. Yeah.
I was going to say, since their announcements in January, they haven't really talked much about anything as far as the filming process. So this is no better time than the dropped-in Easter egg on something they're filming, whether it be Patty's movie or whether it be one of these series, the back behind the scenes of what's going on, maybe a teaser trailer. There's no better time than drop it than right now.
Okay, so I have a rundown.
Saved for celebration, so they've got it.
Oh, sure.
I have a feeling. Okay, here's my prediction. So I think we will get a preview for Cassian Andor.
Yes.
I think we will get a video that is sort of like an onset of Obi-Wan, because they're filming it right now.
Anakin.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe behind the scenes makeup sort of stuff, getting ready. I predict we will get a trailer for Star Wars Visions. That's supposed to be later this year, right?
I want that so bad. I'm so excited for that.
I think we'll probably get right now. All we know about Book of Boba Fett is it's this December.
No, October.
October. We don't have a date. We don't have an exact date yet.
Yeah, I thought it was December, not October.
I thought it was October. Am I wrong?
I'm pretty sure it's December.
Is it December?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's December too.
But we don't have an official date, because if we had an official date, Adam Lance Garcia would be doing that with his One Day Closer post, because he does one right now. He's doing one for Rogue Squadron.
He's doing one for Bad Batch.
And then he's got Book of Boba Fett, but there's not a specific date for that.
See, I can see that being something that they show us on May the 4th or hint towards.
I don't predict any book announcements, because we've already gotten a slew of those updates throughout the year.
Yep.
There are some comic crossovers coming up. So I would guess that if they're going to start any new comic series, maybe that's something that might be announced. But yeah, there's going to be a lot for May the 4th. And of course, they're going to have the obligatory toy and merchandise stuff that nobody can find in their stores because the employees will scalp it. So.
Well, and on the gaming side, Battlefront 3 is in the works as well.
Is it now?
I did hear that.
Fanthatrax posted a thing.
They're coming out with some content, because Fanthatrax also had some video footage of the Andor set, some more scenes and more scenic stuff than anything, which I think is cool. So I really think if we get any drop from any series, it's going to be Andor. I think that makes the most sense.
I'm going to stick with this. I think we're going to get a preview for Andor, and Ewan McGregor behind the scenes
with Hayden. That'd be hilarious.
If it was with Hayden, I would love it, especially if it was a joke.
Yeah,
because let's not forget how funny the two of them are, and I really do wish that we would have gotten more with them, because the way that they sort of bickered, especially in episode 3. When they were on equal footing, was and they explored in the Clone Wars, obviously.
Yes.
But just that whole thing. So I those are my two biggest predictions, and maybe we'll get an interview with like Taika Waititi
that'd be nice.
About his upcoming project, because isn't his film going to be releasing 2 years before Rogue Squadron?
I don't think there was anything that definitive yet.
I thought that his is supposed to be the first one out of the gate.
See, I thought Patty's was, but I could be completely wrong because I thought she was
hers
slated
is still
for.
3 years off.
I thought it was slated for 2023, which is only 2 years now because that was announced in 2020.
Yeah, well, okay. 960 some days. Yeah, that would be less than 3 years. That's right. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know because I thought that they had announced that his might be first. So I don't know. And
I mean,
we've got
all
so
up
much
in the air. Maybe we'll have some clarification on all of that on the 4th.
Yeah.
And they'll give us some.
There's one thing I'm hoping for, though, and I'm going to say this because they haven't really given us anything other than the logo for it, and that was it. The Lando show, that Lando series. I want to know more about that.
The Lando show.
Yeah, that was part of the announcement.
I know, but there could. I haven't seen much of Gambini lately.
So I mean, who knows how they're
the childish Gambino name. I think in the future he's probably just gonna. Yeah, he's just
going
to be Donald Glover now.
Yeah.
But
he dropped that.
I hope that we get some information on what's going on with Grogu. Are we going
to miss him?
I would love an animated Luke and Grogu adventure series.
Animated?
Yeah. I like that idea. Yeah.
Well, I'm still hoping for Winter Soldier player. What's his
name? Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Shaw to play that era.
Sebastian Stan.
Stan, that's what Shaw.
Yeah, Sebastian Shaw is the original Anakin.
That's right.
I don't think he's with us any longer.
Anyway. See, it's my cognitive. Whatever.
It's okay.
Becca's trying to hold it together there.
I don't know what. Really hold it in because it's funny. But there have been. I don't know. Was it officially announced?
Officially official.
Officially official. You know how it is because all these different, reputable sites drop things. Now they're saying there will be some scenes of young Luke in the Kenobi series. Is this official?
Well,
I mean, it makes sense.
They're looking for an actor.
Luke, isn't it?
To play
seriously?
To play young Luke. Yes.
Why wouldn't they? For me, that's like the least surprising.
Why wouldn't they? Yeah, they
have to. Exactly.
Is if they say that Mark Hamill is going to reprise the role and they're going to de-age him and shrink him.
Yeah, that's happening.
Honey, I shrunk Luke Skywalker. I did.
Honey, I shrunk the Skywalker.
Oh my goodness. We have gone off the rails, folks. Yes, we have gone off the rails today.
And we didn't even need writers' help to do it.
No, this all started with a bad joke about a limb.
Well, I'm definitely going out on a limb on that one. Oh gosh, there is so much coming out for us, and I don't even know how to handle it all because seriously, all of us sitting here, who would have thought? You go back 10 years, who would have thought this would be where we would be? As a Star Wars fan with all this amazing stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Let alone us being able to talk about it like this.
In fact, I feel differently now than I did, after 2005. By the way, because after 2005, I thought we were we had experienced finality, that it was done. And I know there's other people out there that said, well, no, George had other plans for additional movies, stories, whatever. I'm like, great, but I thought we had hit a finality, and then what happens? What was it? 7 years later. That things started coming off, Disney buys Star Wars, all of that. Now here we are. We've just finished The Rise of Skywalker. We've got all this new news, and I'm just wondering, okay, when's my next Star Wars? But it's not the same. I'm not sitting there going, what's next? No, we're good. I'm good. Oh my gosh, surprise. No, this time it's like, instead of being surprised, it's now like, I want more. Give me more. Give me more.
Yeah.
I want more. Oh,
can't keep up with it. That's just
I'm hyperventilating here. Give me more Star Wars. Right. Exactly.
Right.
So it's amazing how much time has changed things over the recent. It's been good. I'm ready for more. I'm always ready for more.
Sit back and enjoy the ride. He's right.
Yep.
Just sit back
exactly.
And enjoy the ride.
I mean, well, there's so much now where to be able to know it all, be able to, all in the amount of time that the internet does, it's just, for me, it's impossible. And there was a time, I believe, where I could say, I think I know everything.
Right.
Not anymore. I mean, I don't think I could honestly say I know each and every moment of Star Wars that's been out there, whether it be on screen, in a book, in a comic, in the video games. I definitely don't know because I don't game. So, it's just, and it's almost like you can pick now where you want to be. You don't have to necessarily do what everyone else is doing because there's so many different segments of Star Wars now. So you can kind of pick and choose what poison you want to go with. And I think that's amazing. You didn't have that, 10, 15 years ago. Now you do.
It helps to have streaming apps now because, I was just thinking to myself, like just with my son and I as an example, we finished Mandalorian. What do we watch now, Dad? Well, Disney Plus is this streaming app that, guess what? Marvel's doing the same thing. Now we've got a series to watch of Marvel. Oh, wait, Star Wars has how many more series planned? It's like, I don't have to be satisfied by a movie. I have this streaming app that provides me, I can watch things all that I want. And, by the way, I've been rewatching Clone Wars. I've been rewatching Rebels. I just finished the episode of Rebels where Darth Maul and Ezra tap into the two holocrons where they find out the twin sons, right? They find out where to find
the opposite
Obi-Wan.
of what they want to see. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. And which is funny because they see the opposite of what they want to see, but it happens to be about the same person and the same place and the same. It's cool.
Awesome.
It's mind blowing. But but we really are at that point where where streaming apps now provide us, we can watch whatever we want whenever we want. The studios can release whatever they want, whenever they want, and people can just consume it like they do their regular meals on a regular basis. And we have never been in a times like this ever. And it's pretty cool.
Crazy. Yeah, it's definitely
like that. The weekly release makes everybody be on the same page for a week at a time.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Anticipation and you're planning your Fridays, kind of like we used to do when we just had network TV and you knew certain show was coming on.
Go to your TV guide. Sorry. Basically. Wait, remember those?
Now we need like a TGIF style block of Star Wars shows.
I like that they're not releasing stuff and so you binge watch it because I like that they're, spreading it out because most likely they're all done anyway. But I like that they're, releasing it one at a time so that there is some space between, then you don't have people spoiling the whole thing for us.
Well, now you have the battle between the West Coast folks where it's released at 1 o'clock in the morning or midnight their time. And then me, it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you guys, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Who's going to stay up till 1 or 3 so we can be the first to see the episode before the water cooler talk the next day, somebody comes up. Did you watch it yet?
And that's an issue because I do know for a fact, Pete from Around the Galaxy reached out to me. He's like, do you know they gave out early screen passes to some of our friends? I said, I'm not surprised. I mean, there are just some that are just well known with Lucasfilm and Disney, and they have their ins, and they will be able to watch The Bad Batch earlier than the rest of us.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and it's pretty common for even stream shows. You'll get a screener, like critics will get a screener that has the first 4 episodes. So, I guess for me, I just think about Netflix they had been the dominant force in streaming forever, and they would release a whole season at once. Now, for shows like The Crown, like, who cares? It's history. You can look up the information. You're not really spoiling anything.
Stranger Things, we're looking at you.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Yeah. So for season 1, Stranger Things comes out, and, like, I wasn't super active on Twitter around that time.
No, I wasn't really either.
And, my wife and I watched an episode a night, for a week. And then I think it was 8 episode season. So then the final night we just watched the last 2, and it's kind of like the feeling of a mini series that would drop on network television when I was a kid. There was a Ted Danson Gulliver's Travels and stuff like that. There was a Dune. There was a Dune short sci-fi mini series that was really good, way better than the movie. Anyway, but then when season 2 came out, we had to get through it before spoilers came. So we watched it in like 5 or 6 days. But then when season 3 dropped, there's a character death in the final episode that my wife found out about before we even watched one episode, because somebody had watched every single episode before we woke up.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I know.
And that wasn't you, Mark.
No, it wasn't me. and so we ended up watching that season in 4 days. And, you know, the quality of the show is still there, but it wasn't as enjoyable as an experience, because it's like, I don't want to get any more spoilers, so I just got to get through this. And
that's not right. Yeah.
It hurts them, though.
Right.
Yeah.
It does.
When Star Trek Discovery came out on CBS All Access, I was blown away that I had to wait a week for the next episode.
Really?
And
See, I enjoy it.
Last
I
year,
like that.
they had the new animated show, Lower Decks, which is like a comedy Simpsons type program set in Star Trek, but the references are really deep cuts. And it's one of the trekkiest shows I've ever seen. It's great. But that show came out for 13 weeks, and then Star Trek Discovery Season 3 came out for 13 weeks. And so you had 26 weeks of new Star Trek that everybody was watching within the same 24-hour span when it first came out. And when The Mandalorian comes out, they dominate basically an entire third of the year in the run up to it. And then each week that they're releasing an episode. And then how many podcast episodes did we do just based on The Mandalorian?
Right.
Exactly.
And I really think that Netflix is hurting themselves by releasing it all in one chunk for people to binge, because how many people are talking about Stranger Things season 3?
Nobody.
2 weeks after it's out.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody.
I guess they're trying to keep because they pretty much coined the phrase for
and
Netflix
I think
watch,
and I think they're the outlier, because I can't think of other streaming services did it. I'm just recalling to my childhood. I mean, for me, it was Knight Rider every week, a new episode every single week of Knight Rider, and I couldn't wait till it came out. It was the same thing for Airwolf. It was the same thing for other things that came out. You watched it on a weekly basis. You couldn't wait. Network television still does that. I have my favorites I watch now that you have to wait until next week when they come out. So I think Netflix has got to be the outlier on that, aren't they? Where they just throw it all out there to be seen and binged.
I think
it was novel. It was interesting. Oh, I can watch the whole season right now. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But I think that CBS All Access, that's now called Paramount Plus,
Paramount.
and Disney Plus, the way that they are releasing these shows weekly, I think it's a better model, because how many people, if you're wanting to watch Stranger Things, but that's the only thing you watch on Netflix, you get a free trial, you watch it all, you cancel. Why would you want to make it easy for people to do that? So as a business model, it's cheaper to subscribe to Netflix, but 3 months of Netflix to watch The Mandalorian is more money than no money to binge watch Stranger Things for Netflix.
Plus with Disney Plus and others, you don't have to buy the 3 months either. I believe they can offer them, and I can't remember Disney Plus, but I know you can buy a per episode basis. I've known somebody with a couple of apps who will buy in and watch a per episode rather than buy the entire platform. They'll buy the per episode, and then when the season's over, then they can go, okay, I'll go ahead and buy this or buy into this platform. I don't know that Disney Plus does that, but I know that there are others that do it.
On my Xbox, you can buy per episode of different shows. So like The Walking Dead or whatever.
That's cool.
You can buy the whole season if you want to, or you can just watch it. $3.99, I think, is pretty common. So for $4, you can watch.
But either way you look at it, you're getting an audience that's going to buy into a short period of time to watch a season. And if it's 3 months, great. But the idea behind it is now you've got that audience that says, oh, I like this series so much. What's next? Oh, I'm going to go ahead and subscribe because I want to be a part of it. Or fine, they go back and they purchase it the next time around. But Mark, you're onto something there. And I think I would suspect, or I would almost hope that Netflix would start to change that. I don't know that they will. But they haven't yet, and I don't think they will.
There's something culturally about it. Like Netflix's model now is we're going to release a new movie every week.
Right.
And I think they might even be doubling up. They have a kids movie and more of like a mature film that release almost every week now. But they'll really promote like the kids movie releases quite a bit. That's an interesting model. It's kind of like the old studio system that did a picture a week. Like everybody remembers Casablanca as like the greatest movie of all time, but it was just one of the 52 pictures they did that year.
Right.
Like they didn't think it was special, but
Right.
you know, something sparked interest in it that it's outlived all the other 51 movies that were released that year. But the thing is, Netflix can't dominate the cultural conversation like a Star Wars or Star Trek now.
Right.
Because there isn't that weekly water cooler speculation. Hey, what happened this week that was interesting?
Right.
What do you think is going to happen next? I mean, as much as I don't like to speculate too much when the new films are coming out so that I don't get like attached to any theories or anything, there is something about TV shows that I do enjoy thinking like what's going to happen next and making predictions from week to week, because there aren't as big
forbidden.
Sorry. Yeah, but there aren't as big of stakes in it when it's an episodic thing than when it's like this 2-hour movie is the only thing you're going to get in the story for 2 years.
Right.
And I don't know. People don't get as upset that way, but I think that if Netflix wants to be viable in the future, especially around these TV shows, they're going to have to start adopting a weekly model because everybody else is doing it. And it's more enjoyable. Because you don't feel pressured to watch a bunch of episodes. Sometimes it's like, oh, people are already talking about it this morning. I need to watch this 40-minute thing. Instead of, oh, I need to watch all 10 hours right now.
So speaking of watching, because I forgot to mention this and I didn't even put it in my notes, and shame on me. So Good Morning America on May 4th is speaking with Dave Filoni. They actually put it out on their Twitter feed only. It wasn't on their Facebook, which shocked me. On their Twitter feed, they were taking questions from the fandom, but you had to do a video question. And you may or may not get that on the air with Dave Filoni. Who's watching that? Anyone going to watch that May 4th?
I didn't even know. I don't watch Netflix.
I will probably forget it, but I would like to watch it, but I'll probably forget it, knowing me.
But you might be on it, so maybe I'll have to.
I dropped a question, yes. It didn't get as much attention as... bigger names. I'm just a small fish in a big pond. My question was basically, because basing it on my connections, which I love, don't say anything about hands, Mark. I basically asked Dave if any future, whether it be TV series, animation, if we'll get any more literature crossovers, like how we did with Cobb Vanth. And I asked him how Bug's doing. So that was my little hi to Anne. So if you've read the stories of the Clone Wars, Light and Dark, you'll know who Bug is. Because she should actually, I would love to see that character show up in Bad Batch, because I think that character could.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
So we'll see if they read that one, how he responds. Anne did inbox me with a heart. So she liked the little bug thing there. So we'll see. But I thought that was cute. So we got that coming up on May 4th for Good Morning America. Some questions for Dave Filoni. We'll see how he does with that. Because he might drop things there for us, So real quick, because I know we're getting long on time, I put in here in our notes with you guys. Oh, you want to do Mad Libs? I didn't have that in my notes.
I didn't
see that.
And unfortunately, I'm going to have to drop off. I won't be able to do Mad Libs because I've got
somewhere
being
we can do that another time. But I just wanted us to go around and, from what we have now, all of Star Wars up until this point, what is our favorite quote, all-time quote that we just love through Star Wars?
Let's let Alan go first before he leaves. Favorite quote.
Okay.
Put me on the spot. Dang it.
You're welcome.
Didn't have time to think.
Most of mine always go back to either Yoda or Darth Vader, honestly, and it's usually from Empire. I'm going to go a little bit morbid here, but apology accepted. Captain Nida is one of my all-time favorite quotes.
I can actually hear that in my head.
So, and I really like, there is so much from Vader in that film that I can't get
says
enough
you will
of.
try.
You will try. Yeah.
You will try.
So we'll go with that one. There's a couple others that I could say, but we'll go with that one because that one's right off the top of my head.
All right.
Awesome.
We'll see.
Thanks, Alan.
All right. See ya.
Bye, Alan.
Bye, Alan. All right, Dev. Favorite quote all time. I know it's going to be Luke.
No, it's not, actually.
Really?
I use this all the time. Almost every day. Your focus determines your reality.
Well, I have to come up with a new one then.
Darn it.
That's going to be Mark's.
Yeah, I have it taped to our wall so our kids can look at it when they come downstairs. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's the perfect
I
thing
like
to
that
say.
one. And that's something that we do talk about. Well, I'll let Mark stew a bit while he thinks, and I'll use mine. Devin, I'm pretty sure. I'm sure Devin knows what I'm going to use. It's something that I use on Kanata's Castle quite frequently.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like it. I don't agree with it, but I accept it.
I love it. I love that one. That is a good one.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go with one that's more obscure.
Of course.
I love it when Han Solo on Endor, they've got spears, and he's trying to say, you know, like, I can do what I want, but he's like, he's an old friend of mine.
Oh, yes. I was an old friend of mine.
It's like, they can't understand you. That's not going to help. But C-3PO, he's an old friend of mine. Or
don't eat me.
when we in episode 4,
great.
When Leia says something about how Han doesn't care about anything, and it's when Luke kind of like weakly down the hall, he says,
I care.
I care.
I
love that.
I
like my favorite quotes are the ones that you look for GIFs of and you can never find because nobody's made that image. Like, I was trying to find one yesterday when we were trying to schedule yesterday because we couldn't get everybody on the same page. So I was like, just you guys decide. I was trying to find the Lando quote. I got my own problems.
There it is. I have my own problems. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I was flexible. So whenever you guys, but no, I just thought that'd be fun to talk about our favorite quotes up until this point. And it's, like I said, it's funny because you think of what you say a lot. And that was the one that really stuck with me. Mark, do you have any more time left, or do we need to let you go before we move on?
I could go for another 10 minutes. Probably.
All right.
Yeah, we wanted to talk about our funniest moments, or what we thought were the funniest moments too. That was a bullet point.
Yeah, I'm going to go with all of C-3PO in The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, yes.
Easily his best film. And the way that Poe interacts with him, it's very much the Han C-3PO dynamic.
But he's like more annoyed with him than Han.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be a problem. Yeah. So basically, my funniest moment is anything that C-3PO does in The Rise of Skywalker. It was a brilliant performance, easily his best film in the entire series.
But that's because J.J. Abrams' favorite Star Wars character is 3PO.
Of course.
Yeah, finally justice for the goldenrod.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. And actually, Anthony Daniels.
Goldenrod. You're going to be a permanent
Anthony Daniels did say in his book that out of all the directors, J.J. was the most courteous and considerate of him in his outfit. And how difficult it is to wear that. So he was really always checking in on him. Yeah. And so was John Boyega. So
no, that his biography book is so a fascinating book. So I recommend it. It's a good book.
Although it teased a moment that didn't happen.
True.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, because
it's been a while.
What it sounded like was C-3PO was going to get blasted.
Yep.
And not in there. So.
So what's your favorite or funniest moment, Dev?
It's the first thing that popped into my head is Anakin saying we lost something when he trying to land that ship.
Yep.
Only half a ship, no big deal.
Right. I'm flying half a ship. Oh my God. that is great. We're coming in hot. Never mind. Anyway, that can mean totally different things.
A happy landing.
Exactly. See, I'm going to bounce off of that and off of something you said about 3PO. There's two that really make me laugh every time I watch it. And that is always the banter between Anakin and Obi-Wan. And in Revenge of the Sith, when they're stuck in the elevator and, Obi-Wan goes, "Oh, it's you. I thought it was R2-D2. He goes, "No loose wire jokes." Yeah. I absolutely love this. And they cut each other off there. He goes, "I wasn't going to say anything. I wasn't saying anything." Absolutely love how they go back and forth because they're just like, you see this love that they have, and it's just amazing. Then it's sad to see what happens, but those moments are hilarious. But back on The Rise of Skywalker, 3PO does steal the screen every time he is in it.
Yeah.
My favorite moment is when they're on, I believe is it Pisana? Am I saying that right?
Mm-hmm.
When they're with the Eki, and before they do that, and they're looking over the horizon, and 3PO's telling them what the events are going on, and it happens over so many generations, and they all look at him, and he turns around. Like, what?
What are you looking at?
I absolutely love that moment. He's so lost. He has no idea what they're looking at.
Yeah.
And I still crack up over that. Great moment.
That's a great moment. And then Fetmatic in the chat, another quote from him was, "You,
that's
like your father,
quote.
are now mine."
Yep. And that's why I'm here. Love that.
Ooh, it popped in. That was fantastic.
Yeah,
Ooh, awesome.
Whoa.
Ooh.
That's awesome. But yeah, some really good things. Do we have time for one more, you think, Dev, or no? Or did we get it all? I think we did it all.
I think we did it all. We're at an hour and 25 minutes. We did
all right.
a good show.
Very good show.
Well, I mean, that's relative. I was here after all.
Thanks so much, Mark.
But I'm saying I think I dragged it down quite a bit.
No, not at all. You brought the
No.
tissues after all, so you were giving us free handouts.
No, it's always good to sit back and laugh and make fun of it, because sometimes we get way too serious about it. And I like when we can make fun and laugh at it too.
Well, you know, there's the YouTuber Patrick H. Willems. He does like film breakdowns, and there's a picture of him that he's holding a poster that says, you know, this is a movie about space wizards intended for 12-year-olds, like something to that effect. And like we too often forget, like the target audience is 12-year-olds.
Right.
Yeah.
And don't think too hard.
Yeah. Don't think too hard. Don't take it too seriously. Enjoy other things, you know, find other hobbies. But, you know, that's why we're here together, is because it's a hobby that we all share in common. You know, we all have other things that we enjoy, I'm sure. Not sure about Alan. I don't know. No.
We know Ryder does.
No, yeah, Ryder loves dentistry.
I know very vocal about his other.
Yeah, no, Alan is a big Utah jazz fan, you know. So
okay.
Yeah, it's healthy to be able to poke fun at the things that you enjoy. And you know, there is a difference between being mean-spirited and having fun with it.
Yes.
Like there's a difference between the Freemaker adventures and all the Star Wars Lego stuff that came before it, because those were making fun of the prequels too, like because it was knocking them down a peg because they didn't like the prequels.
No.
So, but anytime that you can make fun of the stuff that you enjoy, as long as it's not coming from a place of being mean or hating it, I think most people appreciate it.
Yeah. You know, you need humor. Laughter is like a cure for all, you know, illnesses and just doldrums. You need to laugh. Laughing's good. We do try to do that every once in a while, right? But yeah, Mark, thanks for coming in, lending a hand as always.
Well, you know, I like to be handy, so.
So, Mark, why don't you at least, because you're the only one here to, you know, offer that voice, let the good folks know who they probably already know where they can find you, Idiots Array, all that good stuff.
Yeah. You can listen to the Idiots Array podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. The Twitter is at Idiots Array Pod. The Gmail, I think it's Idiots Array Podcast at gmail.com. Actually,
I'm telling Ryder.
Sure. And, you know, you can find us on any of the podcast services. Maybe not Spotify for that one, but I'm pretty sure it is. Alan is at Jedi Zog on Facebook, and Ryder is at Ryder Waldron DDS because he wants you to know he's a dentist. I'm at Mark E. Suter. Tag me if you want. And of course, I'm on Tarkin's Top Shelf, and Becca can tell you about that.
Yeah. So Tarkin's Top Shelf, if you're not already aware, you can listen to us wherever you catch your pods. We are on Spotify. We are on Amazon Free Music, so you can check us out there. You can reach out to us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Tarkin's Top Shelf. If you want to reach Mark specifically, though, at Tarkin's Top Shelf, make sure you tag him as well in his personal Twitter. Obviously, he will not see it. And also for Ryder, just wanted him to know before I came on, I did floss. He'd be happy to know that. And I'm also on Kanata's Castle bi-weekly, typically, with Red 5 Mom, because she's always standing by, and she's going to tell you about that.
Well, you can find us at Castle Kanata on Twitter, and Kanata's Castle feedback at gmail.com is our email. And we are on all the podcatchers. Even, you can go to Did you know that we're all on Amazon?
We should be all on Amazon Free Music.
Yeah, so you can tell your Alexa to play. I can play Idiot's Array on my Alexa.
I think we're all on Audible too.
Yeah.
Fancy.
We are fancy
Audible
now.
too. I just found that.
We're all on Audible, yeah.
We're all on Audible too. So
isn't that great? Well, we should be. We're podcasting. Audible. Sorry.
Yeah,
just lend me a hand whenever I can.
You can follow all of us collectively at the Pitiful Little Band, right?
Pitiful Little Band.
Yes, yes. Is it on our banner at all?
From your pitiful little band here. Anyway, that's what I do.
Also, I want to remind people to please like and subscribe on our Pitiful Little Band YouTube channel, where this is streaming right now. So that would be nice. And then they can find me at Red 5 Mom across all social media.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And tag her too as well, because she's not on as often.
Yeah, I'm always not on.
So those two you got to tag.
Anyway,
me, on
social media very much. So.
All right, guys. Well, everyone have a very happy Star Wars Day.
Yes. May the 4th be with you, everybody.
May the 4th be with you.
Yes. Oh, and we get to talk to Clayton Sandell.
Yay!
That's right.
I know.
All right.
Yay.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.